Namaste. We're going to continue with the I Am Discourses. Discourse XI Part II. Sincere students should, whenever possible, avoid listening to things that are disturbing, for in doing so, they often let in unknowingly elements they do not desire. Where they cannot, with discretion, avoid listening to things of this kind, they should use the following. I am the presence on guard here, and consume instantly everything that seeks to disturb. Thus you will not only protect yourself, but help the other person as well. While the student should at no time fear anything, it certainly is necessary to keep up the conscious guard until he has attained sufficient mastery to control his thoughts, feelings, and receptivity. From the Golden City comes this limitless charge of energy for the blessing of the students of this radiation, as well as those of mankind who are looking to the light. Try to keep as much as possible in the joyous enthusiasm of the I Am presence. Give it all power, enthusiasm of the I Am presence. Give it all power and do not hold any questioning in the mind. Throw everything to the winds. Give everything to that glorious I Am presence and receive its magic revelation. It is the mighty miracle working presence that can and does solve all things, not only problems but questions those answers need revealing. A remarkable statement that would be enormously helpful to the students would be to say, I am the miracle working presence in everything I require to have done. For students to keep meditating and contemplating what it means to say I or I am brings results, revelations and blessings that cannot be overestimated. I am sure your students will soon begin to show and feel the remarkable activity of this use. Today I feel the presence of the understanding and use of this much more powerfully than at any time hitherto. On the higher planes there is a constant meeting and exchange of help while the bodies are asleep. Far beyond anything the outer self is conscious of, knowing that I am the quality of whatever I wish to use. Then you know you can produce in visible, tangible form whatever you have within the consciousness. The moment the questioning of the outer mind can be put under control and made to subside, the greatest revelations pour forth, almost tumbling over each other. Owing to the need the Master Himalaya chose to come forth, he brings a special blending of America and India. That is why it is possible for him to come here. As the inner presence comes into action, all outer activity subsides. It must be necessarily, but because it obeys the I Am presence. The golden snow is what the great presence spreads over America, to be absorbed by individuals and the very particles of the atmosphere itself. This will enable the students especially to be greatly assisted and blessed because they have become the focus for this outpouring. It may be well for the students to understand that in national requirements, as in individuals, there are qualities needed for certain definite purposes at certain times. This is the reason for special great beings coming forth, these individuals having predominant the quality that the nation needs at a given moment. The students who can take this understanding with great sincerity will find a new element entering into their lives, which will benefit them greatly. The activity of expectation is quite a vital one in receiving from the inner presence. This is the receiving mode. Being in the receiving mode is the expectation of having the thing, the one, the item, whatever it is that you are manifesting, already in your presence. Having already been manifested, the activity of the expectation is the law of receiving, expecting that it's already happened, already done, prayer answered, wish fulfilled. To continue, it is a faculty that can be used with a great deal of benefit by the student who cultivates it. For instance, if we have planned something from which we expect great joy, we feel all buoyed up with expectancy. we can acquire and use this same expectancy and elements we wish to acquire and use, for it is very helpful in enabling them to come forth. If one calls on the phone and you are to meet that one in the city, you can expect to meet him. If you desire to meet the masters, one requirement is to expect to meet them. That is very helpful. Why not expect to meet them now? People have become so abnormal in their habits that naturally they have interfered with their breathing as well as their outer things. To use this statement, I am the balance and breath, will do a great deal more for them than the use of many breath exercises without the aid of an ascended master. The coming amazing activity will be done by the use of the I am presence, because with its use anything can be accomplished. Take the consciousness often, I am the balancing breath. This sets in motion the inner activity that maintains the outer perfection. In whatever you do, always take the I am consciousness and then you immediately set it into motion. This is the law of momentum, the law of receiving. I mean, this is mentioning all of the great universal laws to do with the law of attraction. To continue. Take the attitude of calm certainty in your mind and keep on going. Keep on keeping on. That's my favourite saying at the moment. Keep on keeping on. Benediction, thou mighty presence, whom we in great joy have welcomed. We thank thee for thy great wondrous radiance and light, thy great radiance and conquering power, and we trust that thou mayest decree justice now and for all time to mankind. There is some notes which I'm going to read because they're always fascinating, and there seems to be some questions and answers on this particular note section. Saint Germain, I shall have to journey on. Question, where are you going? Answer, home. Question, which one? Answer, the Golden City. It is clothed in the electronic substance and is just as tangible to you as the physical. Within the light of the Golden City are lights that are much brighter than the surrounding radiance, as these physical lights are in this atmosphere. Within all lights, at certain points, is consciousness focused. At those points it becomes illumination. Suppose this room were the great sun. It has an atmosphere. The individuals moving within it would have their own radiance about them, the same as the lights in this room. In one of my out-of-body experiences, and near-death experiences as well, I came face-to-face with what I can only call the most magnificent sun that I'd ever been in the presence of in my life. It was enormous, and I felt minute in its presence, though I knew that I was a part of it, and it was a part of me. This is a true story. And it was full of entities. It was absolutely teeming with life. Light beings in the 6th and 7th densities of consciousness. And they showed me that I'm a part of it, and that my physical body and this earth came from the sun. The sun created this local, the sun is our local logos. Not the sun, but the beings within the sun, and the beings within the central sun. The beings within the great central sun of our universe created all of the galaxies, and then the beings from the central suns created our suns, and the beings from the suns created our planets. This is how it goes. This is how the source, this is how God individualizes itself. This is how the source, this is how God creates, individualizes and then jumps into its own creation to explore its own creation as an aspect of the creation. But you are also a part of the Godhead. Don't forget that. This is not to be understated in any way, shape or form. To continue, Discourse 12, November the 10th, 1932. Saint Germain, invocation. Thy mighty infinite presence, thou all-pervading intelligence, thy love, wisdom and power govern all things. Thy divine justice is ever operating in the lives and worlds of those who look to thee with unfailing determination. We give praise and thanks that thou art the ruling power and governing intelligence ruling all things. We give praise and thanks that in our world thou art the ever-sustaining invincible power. We thank thee. God always finds a way to help those whose hearts reach out to him. The Discourse. The seeming mysteries of life, with their attendant experiences, are, when rightly understood, blessings in disguise for any experience that causes us to turn more firmly on to the one active presence. I am God in action, has served us as a wonderful purpose and blessing. The unfortunate situation in which personalities find themselves exists because they are constantly looking to outside sources for sustenance, directing intelligence, and for the love that is the supreme presence and power of the universe. It matters not what the conditions are that we face. At no time must we lose track of nor allow ourselves to be drawn from the great truth that love is the hub of the universe upon which everything revolves. This is what I was shown repeatedly in near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences, that love is literally the great, great central sun of the multiverse. This does not mean that we shall love in harmony or discord, nor anything unlike the Christ, but instead we can love God in action, the I am presence everywhere present, for the opposite of hate is love, and one cannot hate in any sense without having loved deeply. So this is the law of correspondence again. Love and hate are on the same spectrum, the same one spectrum. So you can transmute hate to love, and the negative transmute the love to hate, of course. They're doing the opposite to us, light workers. Okay, to continue, the admiration that Jesus gave was truly this idea. Each human being is a power and is intended to be the governing principle of his life and world, in the recognition that within each human being is the I am presence of God, ever acting. Then everyone knows that he holds within his outer hands the scepter of dominion, and should use his conscious determination in knowing that the invincible presence of God is, every moment, the intelligent activity in his world and affairs. This keeps the attention from being fixed on the outer appearance, which is never the truth unless illumined by the I am presence. No matter what the problem is to be solved in the individual's life, there is only one power, presence, and intelligence that can solve it, and that is the individual's recognition of the all-powerful presence of God, with whom no outer activity may interfere, unless the individual's attention is knowingly or unknowingly drawn from his central recognition and acceptance of the supreme God power. The principle of life, always active, is ever striving to pour itself forth into expression, thereby producing its natural perfection. But human beings have free will, consciously or unconsciously qualifying it with all kinds of distortion. The individual who stands with his attention fixed firmly on the I am presence, on God, and with God, becomes an invincible power with which no outer manifestation of mankind can interfere. That's a good place to stop. I'll see you in the next part. Namaste.